Welcome back. Today on Tuesday Tips with Chris, I'm going to talk about why you need a will. Most people think of estate planning as something that requires you to have horses and tons and tons of money. That's not the case. Honestly, all of us need it at a very basic level, at least have a will. Whether you have children, whether you don't have children, whether you're divorced, no matter what your situation is, everybody needs a will. And they need to do estate planning. And a lot of us, one common misconception or common mistake people make is they don't recognize assets that would come into being whenever they passed away. For instance, life insurance policies. Many of us have $500,000, $750,000, $1 million life insurance policies that we don't consider assets. But if you were to pass away, those assets would come into being, and those would be assets that needed to be properly planned for to take care of your family, your wife, your kids, your nieces, your nephews, if you're not married or have kids yourself. So those are all examples of things that we may not always think about when it comes to estate planning. Another issue that's generally what gets most people in my door, at least at a younger age, is their children. If they pass away without a will, then the state decides who gets your kids. Now, many of those people who will compete in court may be your parents, they may be her parents, they may be your brother, your sister, but it's oftentimes not the person that you would want to go to take care of your children. So it happens all the time where people pass away and they have minor children. We just can't anticipate what will happen to us, and then what will happen to those kids. So for no other reason, everyone should have a will if they have minor children to help plan for that. Maybe you don't have children and you have pets. If you have pets, then you'll want to plan for them as well. A pet may be your child. Believe it or not, I've set up pet trust in the past where it gave a certain amount of money that paid for vet bills, shots, food, all of those things for pets. So even if you're a single person, a young person, there's lots of reasons, and the cost of a will or doing some basic estate planning is about 1/100th of the cost of getting in the fight about your assets or people fighting over who's going to take your children whenever you pass away, and your wishes aren't honored. Your stuff is going to pass, and your children are going to pass pursuant to the laws of the state of Texas, and very rarely do those laws actually match up with what you would want to happen. So I would highly recommend getting in, at least having a consultation with me or someone like me to talk about your estate planning and your wills and whether you need a trust, and I'll talk about that on another segment of the will versus the trust. But there's a lot of misconceptions there as well. But I appreciate a few minutes of your time this morning. I'm coming to you from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Our other office, Chris Carns with Prevost Chef, Mason and Carns. The beautiful rocks behind you are from our Fayetteville office. Faye Jones was the architect here, and if you are bored, Google Faye Jones. It's a good read. You guys have a great Tuesday, and I will see you next week. Thanks.